Greetings of the day. Today we are greetings of the day. Welcome to the Knowledge Mint. Today we are going to discuss trigger in PL SQL. So, what is trigger? A database trigger is nothing but it's a stored procedure associated with a database table or view or any event, right? So, the trigger can be called once when some event occurs, or it may be called many times, or sometimes it may be called by number of raw affected on insert, update, and delete. So these are the three events on which trigger can be fired, right? So trigger is nothing but a stored procedure which comes into action when a particular event on which it is created is becomes true, right? So the trigger can be called after event. And suppose I have deleted a record and I want that record should be saved somewhere, or backup of that record is kept somewhere. In that case, we will be using after the event or after trigger to record it. Sometimes we take follow-up action that is called backup. Trigger can be called before the event, like before insert, before update, before delete, for to prevent any kind of erroneous operation, right? Or to fix new data so that it conforms to the business rule. Take one example. If I want that nobody in my company should get less than 10,000 as a salary, so for every update or for every insert of record, that trigger is going to check whether that salary entered or updated is going to be less than 10,000 or not. If it is going to be less than 10,000, in that case, trigger will fire and will say that salary cannot be less than 10,000. So in that case, you won't be able to enter record into the table, or you can say you won't be able to update that record. The executable part of trigger can contain procedural statement and the SQL manipulation statement, where you are able to manipulate, means insert, update, and delete. Now, the next part is use of trigger. Why to use? Where to use trigger? So trigger can permit DML statement, means trigger can allow whether you will be able to insert, update, or delete a record. If it is done during regular business hours that are predetermined weekdays, this is HOURS, hours, right? So suppose if my company has a policy that no transaction can be done on Saturdays and Sundays, in that case, or between, it has to be done between 9 to 5 on weekdays only, in that case, that kind of business rules can be followed, can be taken care with the help of trigger. A trigger can also permit keep audit trail along with the operation performed and the time on which operation was performed. Suppose if you are going to update a table, it will keep previous value before updation. If you are going to delete some record, Uh, if you are going to delete a record from a table, again it will keep a backup of that, backup of deleted record, and in operation it will keep deletion. And if you have updated a record of a table, in that case it will keep previous data of that particular record and will keep that operation type is updation. Clear? So that kind of thing again can be used with the help, or can be taken care with the help of use of triggers. Even in some cases it can be used to prevent invalid transactions. Like suppose if you are entering a particular amount which is not okay. Suppose if somebody tries to enter amount of a particular item which is more than specified, in that case it will not allow. Similarly, suppose for a particular item that ordering amount is 1000 and you are trying to order 2000 or 5000, in that case again this kind of transaction cannot be entered into the system. That's how trigger will prevent entering of invalid transaction. Similarly, suppose in we call it transport department, where DL is generated, or where the process of DL is taken care. DL means driving license. If anybody having age less than 18 years, in that case nobody will be able to generate driving license of a person having age less than 18 years. So that is called it can be used. So this can be taken care with the help of trigger, and so prevention of thing is there. Again, go ahead with the implementation of complex security authorization. Take example of banking login. Suppose if you have tried login to the bank and you have tried with the wrong password first time, then again second time you have tried, again that password was wrong. After third trial with the wrong password, what will happen? That your account will be locked, right? That kind of thing can be taken care with the help of triggers. Now comes the point to remember while using triggers. So you need to take care following points if you are going to use trigger. What is trigger cannot include? So body of the trigger cannot have commit statement, cannot have save point statement, cannot have rollback statement. So mind well, you must be aware of that these three statements cannot be included in the body of the trigger. Again, we can use only one trigger of a particular type. So you cannot make a trigger row wise also, or a statement trigger also. You cannot make a single trigger before also and after also. It is not possible. Trigger can be a statement trigger. Trigger can be a row wise trigger. Trigger can be a before trigger. Trigger can be a after trigger. But it cannot be the combination of both in one go, right? We can have that row wise trigger but before. So we can choose before and after, anyone, row and statement trigger, anyone, right? The table can have any number of triggers. So we need to keep in mind that a table can have any number of triggers associated with it based on requirement. Again, we use correlation name. I have already told that in case of suppose you want to know the difference between two salary, the new which is going to enter, which is going to be stored in the database, and the old one, right? If you want to know the difference, in that case you need to have access of new which is coming to the database, and old means which is already data in the database for a particular record. Can be used to refer data on command line, means data which user is going to enter, and data inside the table respectively. Means any trigger which has which is a row trigger will have access to the both correlation names. Now Parts of trigger. A trigger will have a triggering event, will have trigger constraints, will have trigger action. So these are the three component of a trigger. Right? What is triggering event? On which a trigger is going to be fired, like insert, update, or delete. Clear? Suppose I want to make sure that nobody from, suppose I am running a company, and I have suppliers from various cities, but I want suppliers from Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata only. In that case, that kind of statement can be put if city is equal to Kolkata, or city is equals to Chennai, or city is equals to Mumbai, or maybe Delhi, only then that record can be entered into the table. So that kind of, so this was the example of triggering event. That so that can be done with the help of trigger. So this was the example of triggering event. Now called trigger restriction. Like so trigger restriction specifies the Boolean expression that must be true for a trigger to fire. So when it comes to triggering event, it is either a insert statement or a delete statement or a update statement, right? So when it comes to restriction, in that case, suppose I am going to order a particular item from the supplier. So in that case, if I have put the logic that quantity on hand, the quantity which is there in the warehouse, if it is less than reorder point, we all know that in many cases people keep a minimum stock, minimum stock. Suppose we have kept a rule, whenever any the stock of a particular item goes less than 1000, immediately order should be there. So this is, suppose this is less than 1000 and new order point is what? Is 1000, right? Quantity on hand, suppose if it is 800 and that reorder point is 900. In that case, this 800 is less than 900. In that case, this condition will be true and order will be immediately placed. Order will be immediately placed. So this is one of the example of called trigger restriction. It says simple, the trigger does not fires unless number of available part is less than present reorder amount. Clear? So if that suppose that ordering point is 1000 and current amount is 800, in that case that is perfectly fine, trigger will be fired. But if that reordering amount is 1000 and current number of item is say 1100, in that case trigger will not let you fire, since you won't be able to order. Now comes triggering action. It is nothing but a PL SQL code block which is called body of the trigger. Clear? And whenever a trigger is going to be fired, in that case this body of the trigger will be in action. It says trigger action is a PL SQL code to be executed when triggering statement is encountered and any triggering restriction value is true. Clear? So like a triggering event is insert, update, or delete, and the condition put on the to be that insert to be fired, then in that case trigger will be in action. Take one example. Suppose I have created a trigger which will allow insert if that minimum sale is greater than 10,000. If we are putting value more than 10,000 or more, in that case trigger will not be fired. While event is occurring, insert is going on. Clear? But if we are going to enter the salary 8,000, that is a insert statement that will be called triggering event. The triggering event is there. Now comes trigger restriction. Trigger says if that salary is less than 8,000, 10 salary is less than 10,000 and we are trying to enter 8,000. In that case, trigger restriction evaluates true. Immediately trigger will be fired and will say to the user salary cannot be less than 10,000 and will not allow to enter that record into the table. Clear? So that is triggering action, and that is the condition to be fired. Then comes the statement of PL SQL block have access to the column values new and old. So any row trigger, if you have created a row trigger, that row trigger only will have access to the new and old. New means the value coming to the table, and old means the value which is already there in the table. Right? That is the definition of new and old. Now comes types of trigger. I have already said row trigger. It will act row wise. Suppose if I am going to delete 10 records on a condition, and if it is a row trigger, it will be fired 10 times. But if the deletion condition is deleting only 2 records, then it will be fired twice only. Statement trigger is not associated with number of record affected. It fires only once. Before triggers, it is going to fire before triggering event, and after trigger fire after triggering event. And these are the some of the combination of the triggers. So before statement trigger, this is a statement trigger and it is of before. So combination of statement plus before trigger plus statement trigger can be created as a new type. Before row and similarly after row and after statement. So these are the 4 new types of the trigger using above combination, right? Now comes to the row trigger. I have already said that row trigger is fired based on number of row affected by DML statement, that is insert, update and delete. Statement trigger is fired once irrespective of number of tables affected from the trigger. So that is there. Next one is before trigger. We all know that before trigger is fired before the action. So before trigger execute triggering event action before the triggering statement. It is used when action should determine whether triggering statement should be allowed to complete. By using before trigger, we can eliminate unnecessary processing of the triggering statement. Before triggers always minimize a lot of overheads, a load, or minimize loads on the server. Before triggers are also used to derive a specific column values of the statement. Suppose you are putting your date of birth, so that before trigger can calculate your age based on current date minus date of birth. So that in such situation before trigger can act on, right? Whenever you will be trying to enter a record and where you need to mention DOB, and system has to calculate your age also. So in that case, that before trigger can act very well, and it can calculate your age and can put data into table. Now let us see, this is one of the example of trigger. So it says create a trigger to keep backup of deleted records from EMP trig table. This trigger will keep backup of deleted record, right? So this is again trigger which will be fired on deletion of record. right? And it is a row trigger, and you can say the combination is after, है ना? After and row. So let us see for practically doing this. I have to create two tables, that is table name called EMP trig, where we'll have ename and salary. The two fields will be there. I've kept it very small so that hands-on is becomes easier. Then next one is called EMP backup. This is the backup table. We'll have employee name, salary, and delete date, right? So see the definition of trigger, which is going to keep a record of deleted table. Create or replace trigger backup record. So create or replace. Create will create the trigger. Replace is used, suppose there is an error in the definition of trigger, or you want to make some changes in the logic. In that case, replace will replace the previous definition of the trigger and will create new. Or you can say that create updated trigger. So create and replace is clear. Now trigger is the keyword and backup record is the name of the table. This is after delete. So this is the event and it will be fired after deletion of the event. On which table? On EMP underscore trig table. And this is again type for each row. This trigger will be fired for each row of the deleted table. Sorry, deleted records. So after deletion, what it will do? It will insert record into EMP backup table. Means this is the table from where data will be deleted, and this is the table where backup will be kept. So see, colon old dot ename. This old means that data which is already there in the table. We all know that if we are going to delete a record, means that record is already there in the table. So we are going to refer ename, or you can say old.ename, means this will refer what? Ename field of the table. And this will refer ename field of salary. This is the sysdate. It will be automatically fetched from the system. This old means we are referring table data. And we all know that one by one trigger will be fired for each row deleted. And thereby it will be able to create n number of records, or you can say that much of record which have been deleted by the delete command. Now this is another trigger. It is also going to prevent erroneous transaction. Trigger to prevent insertion. This is not on. This is off. Insertion of records if sal is less than 5,000. This trigger is going to prevent insertion of records if sal is less than 5,000. So it says create or replace. This is keyword trigger. Name of the trigger is min sal check. It is again before event trigger. So insert or update. These two are the triggering event. And on EMP, this is the EMP trig table on which this will be created, and this is type for each row. This is a row trigger and before event trigger, and these are the two events on which it will be fired, and this is called trigger restriction. Until and unless that coming salary which is going to be in the table is less than 5,000, this trigger will not be fired. That restriction is called is what? Basically, when we are entering data which is less than 5000, only in that case this trigger will be fired. Even if you try to update, and after updation, even before updation, it will check whether that updated value is going to be less than 5000 or 5000 and above. If it is less than 5000, it will be fired. If it is not, it will not be fired. So this is nothing but this is your trigger restriction. This is trigger restriction. This is row trigger, because it is written for each row. And insert and update are the DML statement on which this trigger will be fired, and that too before insert and before update. Means you won't be able to update records if you are not fulfilling this condition. So this was the example of you can say row trigger, and that too before insert or update, right? So this was the theoretical part of trigger. In the next video, which will be trigger 2, or you can say trigger part 2, you will be able to have hands-on on the code which I have just shown. Even I will try to add some more examples on triggers. So I would like to request you all, please subscribe my channel. That will motivate me a lot, and that is the only one mode of motivation or means of motivation. So thanks all for watching, and I hope you will like it.